With the presidential election now in the rearview mirror, the Republican gubernatorial primary is shaping up to be a fight between the moderate wing of the GOP and the pro-Trump far-right wing. President-elect Donald Trump had a better-than-expected showing in New Jersey, losing the state to Kamala Harris by just 5 points. Could that narrowing gap signal a rightward shift in the state that will carry into the race for governor, or will a more traditionally moderate Jersey Republican win out? Senior political correspondent David Cruz reports.
At last week's League of Municipalities Republican gubernatorial candidates public forum, Senator Jon Bramnick and former Senator Ed Durr had the stage all to themselves after presumed frontrunner Jack Ciattarelli canceled, citing scheduling conflicts. Bill Spadia's team said they wouldn't do it because they only wanted in if Ciattarelli was in. The former assemblyman and the morning shock jock are eyeing each other as the guy they got to get through to get to the nomination.
The guy does not know how to win. And the challenge is because I believe he's not sincere, inauthentic, and people see that. So, here's a guy that has run twice. Now you come into 2025, there's a solid 2/3 of that support he had in 2021 that he does not have now in 25.
Spadia insists that New Jersey is in play for Republicans come 2025 and points to Donald Trump's better-than-expected single-digit loss on Election Day as proof. The result, Spadia and Ciattarelli are battling each other to show voters who's Trumpier.
Loyalty matters to President Trump.
Bill, you've had my back from the beginning, and I really appreciate it.
Ciattarelli, he's a fake Republican.
Donald J. Trump won a historic landslide election, crushing Kamala Harris to save America. No thanks to phony radio talk show host Bill Spadia. Spadia attacked Trump repeatedly.
It's always been thought that Donald Trump is toxic in New Jersey, and now it seems like that's not necessarily the case as much as it used to be, at least. And Trump is really going to define this primary more than was originally thought, and that you're going to see these two candidates battle it out.
Over the years, both Spadia and Ciattarelli have been less than 100% Trump. Ciattarelli once called him a charlatan, and Spadia called the Trump presidency a failure. Former state senator Ed Durr, who's raised $0 for his campaign and would appear to be bringing up the rear, says he trumps both Ciattarelli and Spadia on loyalty to the president-elect.
I find it funny that these guys are out there attacking each other on who's more Trump or who's more anti-Trump. And like I said, they basically ignored me, and I think they want to do that on an intentional purpose because they know that the grassroots truly like me more than any of them because I'm one of the people.
That may be the battle for the hearts and minds of the Trump loyalists, but they don't always show up at the polls when the president isn't on the ballot. State Senator Jon Bramnick has been the most consistent and loudest anti-Trump voice since the first Trump term.
Bramnick is a different story, and there's a lot of people who count him out because, you can't necessarily be Trump critical while Trump is president to the Trump voters in the Republican primary. So that's the conventional wisdom. But I will tell you that if the Trump voters are splitting themselves 2 or 3 ways, then maybe there is a path in which Bramnick has a clearer lane than they do.
If you want a Republican to win, you want a Republican who's focusing on New Jersey, not simply trying to be, the best friend to Donald Trump. I understand it might work in a primary, but all of those candidates are going to get swamped. They're going to get beat. They're going to get smoked in a general election.
With just over 6 months to go before the primary day in June, a lot can happen in New Jersey and Washington. A radical shift in policy, foreign and domestic, could cut both ways in a primary here, where voters looking for a quick fix can be easy to frustrate, and a frustrated voter can be unpredictable. I'm David Cruz, NJ Spotlight News.